G'day everyone, Michael from Going Grey here, your channel for all your greyhound questions and needs. This is the first video I've done for quite some time. We've just been getting ready with our new house, so finally got settled in and I can actually make some videos properly for you. Now, if you haven't seen my other videos, I have adopted a greyhound with my girlfriend here in Melbourne, Australia, and his name is Early, and if you can see his little paws there, he's in the room with me. So I'll quickly show you what he's doing what a typical greyhound does, lying around all day. So today's video we're going to be discussing the topic of greyhound collars, more specifically martingale collars. Now, for those of you who have a greyhound, you'll be well aware that greyhounds have very thin heads and large necks, so it means that they need a special collar called a martingale collar. This is true of other breeds like whippets and other hound breeds that have a thin head but a wider neck. So if you guys have never seen a greyhound or you're thinking about getting a greyhound, this is one of the things that you'll need to consider. The greyhounds need a special collar. It's for their own safety as well as yours because of the design of their head and neck. So when they've got a small head and a large neck, what you can imagine with a normal dog's collar, their head is generally larger than their neck. So as the collar rides up, generally it stops underneath their chin and at the back of their head, so the dogs don't slip out from the lead or the collar. With a greyhound, that's not quite the case because obviously their neck is wide and their head is thin. So if they decide while you're on a walk and they see something they like a cat or a rabbit or anything that gets their attention and they want to go, a normal collar will not hold them or keep them on the lead. They will be able to slip out from that collar. So with a martingale collar, essentially it's almost like a choker chain lead if you've ever used one of those or had one of them for a dog. Basically what happens as the dog is walking or if they are pulling, it will tighten essentially so that they can't slip out or pull on the lead. Now, generally greyhounds are pretty gentle on the lead. They're used to being handled, but there are some greyhounds that, like any other dog, will pull if they get excited or if they do see something and that they're not quite sure what it is or that grabs their attention. For example, around here with Early, we know that he gets very attentive if he sees a cat, especially a kangaroo or a rabbit. So you don't want your dog running off potentially across the street, getting hit by a car, or even here in Australia, getting in a fight with a kangaroo, because kangaroos are they can be pretty big and strong. So you don't want to get in a fight. Generally, they're pretty placid, but you never know. So that's the main reason that it's there. It's really there for their safety. Now, the good thing about this, and if you do like, being an owner who likes to spoil their dog, or, you're a fashionable person and you want your dog to be fashionable too, well, you're in luck because there are a lot of very cool looking greyhound or martingale collars out there. Now, we've got about 4 or 5 different collars that we like to rotate with Early, and really it's just because, he doesn't really care, but myself and my girlfriend, we like the collars and the way that they look. It also just means that they don't get as dirty and you can swap between them and keeps your dog just a little bit cleaner. So when you adopt your greyhound, a lot of the adoption agencies will have their own collar that your dog will undoubtedly be wearing when you get them. So here is an example of a martingale collar. Now, there are a couple of different types that we have here. So this is what we initially got when we adopted Early. So we adopted him from the Greyhound Adoption Program. This sits under or on the front of their neck, and this sits just behind their head. As the dog pulls, you can see that the collar tightens. Now this is a pretty good quality one. We probably only had him wear it for about a week or two. We got really excited and wanted to get some cool looking collars. But just so you have an idea like that, you want the collar to tighten up for their safety. Now, my mum bought us this one. My mum loves dogs, works at a rescue shelter. As you can see, we've got the little whippets or greyhounds here, like so. I'm not exactly sure where she got this from. There is this Long Dogs Australia, so if you head over there, I'm sure you'll find it on there. Now, we've got 4 of this type of martingale collar. We bought this from Harlequin Hounds. I think they're based here in Melbourne. We just stumbled across them. We have no affiliation with them whatsoever. I've messaged them a couple of times to get a few custom collars in terms of patterns that we like and wanted. We'll start with the ones that weren't custom and that we just found on their website. So we've got this nice galaxy kind of design here. Early's white and black, so pretty much any color kind of suits him. Again, you can see, looking at the back here, the lead would attach on there and it will tighten up as he pulls. Now, when you get a collar like this, there's generally excess and you cut it off and you can loosen it and tighten it here at the buckle. So let me know what your favorite one is, guys, down in the comments. So we've got the Galaxy one. For those of you who like The Simpsons, we've got a Homer Simpson collar with the Duff beer. Now that'll probably be showing backwards to you guys, but that one is quite nice. If you're from Australia, in particular Melbourne, you'll know what this is. This is a type of beer called Victoria Bitter, or VB for short. It's quite popular here in Melbourne, so this is a good one. We get a few comments with this collar. And then last but not least, I don't know if you can see, I'm just going to move. So you can see he's got a Chicago Bulls collar, which was also a custom one. So the VB and the Chicago Bulls one were a custom collar. So that about does it when it comes to martingale collars. It's just something that you want to consider when you do or are looking at adopting a greyhound, just so you know that they're not going to be easily available at your local pet store. Most likely you are going to have to find somewhere online, most likely, to get those collars. So if that's going to be an issue or a consideration in terms of adopting a greyhound, have a think about it. Otherwise, it's really not much of an issue. I mean, they might cost a little bit more than a standard collar, particularly because we're going to a small business or like a boutique-y kind of brand. So something like this costs $25. I think it's well worth it. High quality, never had an issue with it. He's safe. He's not going to slip out of the lead with these collars on, which is what's most important. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. We've got many more videos to come in the future with all things greyhounds. So if you have anything else you want us to touch on in the future, definitely let us know. But that pretty much sums it up, guys. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.